Hi, my name is Kathy Fosno and this is Kat's Creative Corner. Welcome to Tuesday's card. Today we're going to be making this fun little Easter card. We're going to be using the Basket Bunch stamp set, which is pretty basically an Easter stamp set. However, it doesn't have to stay Easter. It's got a basket which you could use all the way through the summer. It's got little chicks. It's got different kinds of rabbits. It's got little daffodils and stems, so you don't have to just use it for Easter. But the card I'm making is pretty much an Easter basket. I'm also using the Basket Builders framelit dies. It comes with a lot of different dies, as you can see. Lots of eggs, the basket, different shaped bunnies. And yes, you do need your Big Shot to use these dies. And let me tell you, I can't stress enough how important the Big Shot is in your stamping. If you're going to spend much time stamping, it just is so nice to be able to cut things out. We're also going to be using our glimmer paper that you get. The only way you can get these colors, which are Sweet Sugar Plum, Mint Macaron, and Bermuda Bay, the only way you can get these colors is free through our celebration catalog. And this is a new item that was added in February. The way you get it is you order $50 from any of our current catalogs, our occasions or our annual catalog, online or whatever, and you order it, and if you spend $50, you get to choose a free item. It doesn't have to be the glimmer paper. There's all kinds of different items that you could purchase. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a piece of sugar plum, sweet sugar plum, and we're cut it at 5.5 by 8.5, and we're scoring at 4 1/4. Then we will set that aside for just a moment. We also have a piece of Daffodil Delight, and I'll tell you what, I can't exactly remember. I know it's 5 1/4, but I think it's like 3 3/4 in the length, but I'm not sure. So I will put that on my website at Kat's Creative Corner. All the directions will be on there and all the measurements. You also have a small piece of Whisper White. You're going to need a piece of crumb cake for your basket. You need some cucumber crush for your green, and then the glimmer papers and a piece of Daffodil Delight, and you can see I cut out the little bunny. Okay, so let's get started. We're also going to need some of the Sweet Sugar Plum ruched ribbon. So let's start with our Whisper White, and we're going to attach with our Snell adhesive on the back. We're going to attach our grass. And you want to leave the top open so that you can stick the eggs in. Okay, now let me show you something. There's a little seam because I joined two pieces together. And don't you love it? Don't you love the tall grass that you could put flowers in or whatever? But there is a little seam where I joined it together. So on my original card, I stuck my basket behind the grass, and then I noticed the seam showing a little too much to please me, so I put some ribbon over it. You don't have to do that. You could put the basket right over, and I'm going to use a little Tombow glue for the basket. Is it snowing at your house? It's not snowing today, and it's getting warmer. Hopefully we won't have much more snow. Well, this doesn't seem to want to be flowing. So let me grab another one. That might be one that's sat a while. Sometimes you got to work with them. It's your multi-purpose glue, and it's liquid, and it holds on pretty good. But what's nice about it is you can move it for a few seconds after you put it down to get it in the right position. So we're going to stick the basket right over that seam so nobody could ever tell there was a seam there. And we're going to add the handle. I like to make it a little different each time. I don't want every card to be exact, but if you want them all to be exact, you can do it that way too. So I'm going to put the handle right under the top of that, and it's still movable because it's not quite dry. So now you have your basket. Okay? See that? Okay, so now the rest of it, well, there is one thing we want to do. We want to stamp the bunny. I went ahead and cut the bunny out ahead of time. You can also stamp the bunny first and then cut it out with the die. Either way works really good. So we're going to use a little sweet sugar plum. Or I think I had crumb cake on the table. For some reason, though I don't see it. Oh, it's on the floor. I'll just use the sweet sugar plum. And because these are photopolymer, you can see right through. So I am going to stamp right over. I don't know if you can see that. Let me make sure I'm getting in the line of sight. I'm going to stamp right over, and there he is. Isn't he cute? Like I said, you could stamp first and then put the die on it and get it a little more exact. But I like that. I'm fine with that. So let's stick him in the basket, I think, in this case. Let's stick him in the basket. Oops, I got to put some glue on it. Okay. We're going to stick him right in the basket. Just doesn't every Easter basket have a bunny in it? Okay, so now we just want to use our Tombow glue, and we're going to put these little, you know, I do have a trick. If I haven't, yes, I do. Okay. And I think I've shown you before. And I'm going to put a little bit of Tombow glue. That's the one that stuck, wasn't it? Okay, there we go. All right, we're going to put a little Tombow glue on our sponge, and these sponges come in a set of 3, and I just cut them in quarters, and that gives you actually 12 sponges to work with. So I'm going to put some glue on that, and I'm going to stick a few of these eggs. Let's see if I can do this upside down. Just stick them wherever, and you can use whatever. You could even, you don't have to even use the glimmer paper. If you have some paper that you want to stamp on, there are stamps in that set that are eggs with patterns. So you could do it whichever way you want. You could stamp on plain cardstock, or you can stamp it out in specialty paper. You could use designer series paper, whatever you wanted. I just like the glimmer paper so much that I'm using it on every project that I can. I just love it. And kind of tilt them different ways so that they stay. Let's put a solid one. I did cut out some solid ones. Not all have the design on them. So let's put a solid one in the basket here. Now, how does that look? Oh, I think it looks lovely. But let's do one more. Let's put a green solid inside. So what I did, in case I didn't explain it very well, I put glue here and put it on the sponge. Now don't forget to clean your sponge right away or it'll stick for life probably. So there, now I've got the little bunny just sticking out. And there's an egg. Isn't that cute? Okay. Now I get the glue off my hands. And I'm going to take my ribbon, and I'm not going to put the ribbon across this time because I don't need to. So I'm going to tie a quick little bow. And this is a small piece of ribbon, so it won't be easy. but you don't want a waste ribbon when the glue is sticking to my finger, and that's why this is being very difficult. Hang on, I'll get it. No? Sorry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, we have had a lot of snow, as I think most people have, and I'm really tired of it. I'm ready for spring, so that's why I wanted to make a spring card. You know what? I'm going to cut a bigger piece so that I can work with it a little easier. I'm going to use my paper snips. Now I'll be able to do it. I just needed a little bit bigger piece. So I'm just making a bow in the air with sticky fingers. Hot! Now I just need to manipulate it to where it is the right size. And you don't want a very big bow since your basket is so little. You don't want to overwhelm your basket, but you do want it big enough to be seen. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so I'm going to trim off my edges, and I'm going to use a little glue dot. Glue dots are the best thing to hold material on, to hold the bows and that kind of stuff, if they come off onto your material. Okay, so where do we want to put it? I'm going to turn it my way so that I can see this a little bit better. And I'm going to stick it right on this edge. Work with it a little bit. And I think I'll cut the edges a little bit more. Okay, so now you have your bow. Okay, now on my original card, I had put the sun. Well, that wasn't the way it originally came. I made a boo-boo, and I decided to punch out a circle and make a sun. I asked my son, who is really artistic, what he thought of it, and he didn't like the sun. So I am going to just leave the sun off on this one. Okay, I'm using a little Tombow glue to put onto my Daffodil Delight cardstock. Center it. And now I have glue on this one. I'm going to remove my grid paper. And I'm going to take this piece and I am going to put it towards the top with leaving a border at the top about 1/4 of an inch and on the sides. So I have that. And then I'm going to take my sweet sugar plum and my sentiment, I'm going to say, you're extra special. And I'm going to stamp that at the bottom. And the color I'm using, this isn't sweet sugar plum. I'm sorry, this is rich raspberry. I said sweet sugar plum earlier. So there is your card. You could put a piece of white cardstock inside to make it a little easier to stamp. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this card. And move that ribbon. And for all the measurements, go to my website, catskreativekorner.com, and you'll see the video there, you'll see the measurements, and you'll also find a supply list, and you can click on those supply things and go straight to my online shop. Thanks for stopping by.